Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Brian. I'm your host, Stuart, and we're going to do a quick review of last night's premiere episode of True Detective Night Country. Now, a lot of people are familiar with the series, and some aren't. The first series, season one, was phenomenal. It's lightning in a bottle, and it was just heart wrenching and very just powerful in how it sucked you in every single episode. It was a stellar season. Season two was a letdown. I mean, I got through it, but I was kind of just getting through it because I started it and I was going to finish it. Season three didn't capture the lightning in the bottle that was season one, but it did bring it back. It did bring it back more kind of with that same feel. A, a story that kind of you see it as it happened and in the future as they recall trying to finish out solving this crime that has been decades unsolved. I thought it was a good season. It wasn't season one good, but it was good. And then now we get the fourth season, Night Country. Now, I don't want to be like all my contemporaries and go, oh, it's two female leads, this girl boss, blah, 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 blah. It's female power, it's feminist agenda, all this other stuff. I'm going to take this on its own merit. So, Jodi Foster is the lead in this series. And I don't have to tell you, Jodi Foster has earned her stripes as an actor. They didn't have to put in a lot of exposition explaining who she is and why she's in charge, why she's head of this uh, Arctic Force Police Department. Um, she's in charge, and she portrays that strength that I'm in charge because I've done the work. You see, like in any cop show, you see the captain of a department or just any type of upper leader. She projects that confidence and that knowledge and that strength just through her acting. So if you call Jodie Foster a girl boss, I'm just going to disregard your opinion on this series. I just am. Now, if you do it for the other leading actress, I'll give you that one. Um, she's insufferable. Uh, I don't know what it is. There's something about her, and I don't want to say it's the piercings, but I mean, if you want to define, to me, the septum is the worst piercing of all. And I mean, of all the piercings, the septum is the dumbest one because it makes you look like livestock. And the one through the cheeks just make me wonder why you hate yourself so much. It looks dumb. It just does, and it's distracting. Those cheek piercings literally throughout the entire episode. I'm like, oh, just take them out, just take them out, and we'll be fine. She's a bit unsufferable, but I do think that's the point of her character. But she's not a character you're going to be like, oh, I like her. I like the character. I'm not saying she's not a good actress. This is the first thing I've seen her in, to my recollection. If her goal is to be insufferable in this entire series, in which we'll soon find out, then she's a good actor. If not, then she's a bad actor who's just insufferable all around. So we'll see how it goes. But the premise of this series seems to be uh, the Arctic Research Station, filled by about a dozen scientists doing all sorts of scientific experiments, and paleontology experiments, digging ice cores and things like that, to study climate change. I know that's entered in, and other things like that. All of a sudden, everyone disappears. Everyone at the station disappears. And the only thing left is a tongue on the floor. Yeah, that's a bit unnerving. But this whole episode just had a weird vibe to it. There is a Jodie Foster's character has an adoptive daughter. And there's a storyline that we get off right off the bat that they should have just cut out um, for multiple reasons. I'm not even going to mention it just because someone might strike my channel or flag this video for even mentioning it. So, but let's just say her daughter's storyline. I hope we don't hear much from her after this because it was unsettling, to say the least. Uh, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. This has there's a lot of indigenous people from the area that live there and in the town surrounding the research station. So there starts to be this mystical aspect, and this is why I say it's a departure from what it used to be. So it was detective, 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 real world, maybe mystic, maybe ceremonial stuff of people. This seems to have gone the way of Twin Peaks. It's a detective story that is going to have a supernatural element. And you're like, well, is it just because of the disappearance or when they find the missing scientists? No, it's because they were led to the spot where the missing scientists were by a local woman's dead husband's ghost. So, this is going to be a lot of supernatural things, and this is just kind of it touches on it. Sometimes it's mentioned, but this is a different take on True Detective. Now, if this was just Night Country and not True Detective, I'd still be interested in the series. I'm a big fan of like supernatural shows, mystery, things like that. I would be all in. I do think if since they made this a True Detective season and it goes the way of Twin Peaks, it's going to lose a lot of its core fans that are going to be brought back with season 3. Don't know. Over the whole, I'm intrigued by the premise. I'm fascinated by the premise. I really do hope we get an interesting story out of this. And I'm not going to tell you more about that in itself. That I do think this is has the potential to be a good series, a good season, I should say. I do believe that it should be its own series and not a season of True Detective. But that's my opinion. I do think we'll see a lot of inserting of the message into the series. I mean, they did about 4 or 5 instances within the first 20 minutes of the episode. So there's going to be a lot of that. Does that dissuade me from watching a show? No. Does it make me hate the show? No. Does it make me like the show? No. It actually off puts me, but I'll finish it. But it's going to be it might be a single watch for me. But it's out now on Max. Take a look. I do think that if you are into true crime type of thing, deep detective mysteries, and even if you're an old fan of Twin Peaks, I have a feeling you're going to like this season. Don't know. We'll just have to see what comes out of it. But I am optimistic. I don't want to be one that's just like, oh, I hate on everything. I'm I'm a person that enjoys B movies on the reg. So, yeah, I enjoy bad stuff. I find a way to enjoy what I'm go to be entertained by. And there's stuff that just I can't stand. I made it through this episode and enjoyed it and didn't hate it. So I do think there is some potential here. Let's hope next week we get a better episode, a more in-depth episode of not just the characters but the world around it to kind of give a more explanation. There's there's stuff that needs to be spelled out. So you get a lot of information, but not but not a lot of understanding in this first episode about what's going on. And so this is going to be fun. So until then, I love you all. There's nothing you can do about it.